Hi guys, Miss Giambi here. I'm here for another lesson, believe it or not. Today is going to be a very quick lesson. We are going to be finishing 4.4C standard form. I would have liked to continue to practice word problems a little bit more, but since we're running close to the end of the school year, we're going to just continue and keep on pushing to try to get you guys as much knowledge as you can before you move on to next year. Today we're going to be talking about the second way to graph standard form. We've been graphing standard form by using the x and the y intercepts. When we have a line, we find the x and the y intercepts and then we graph it. But we have found out that that is actually not the most effective way to graph, because when you only have 2 points, your line sometimes doesn't turn out perfectly, or you end up with an x-intercept that is 1.372, 0, and that's also impossible to graph. So today we're going to learn a much easier way. And the second way to graph standard form is to rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. It's actually very simple. We discussed last class that why standard form is important, because when we have standard form, all of the solutions to the equation actually give us possible combinations in a real world scenario with a given total. Like we said, if I have a $500 budget and I need to buy different cups and plates for the price per plate, the price per cup, for my total of $500, how many I can get of each. So things like that. But then when we want to graph it, it makes it easier if we can graph it in slope-intercept form. So what we do is we rewrite the equation. We go from ax plus by equals c to y equals mx plus b. We want to get this y all by itself and move everything else to the other side of the equal sign. This is like what we did in the very first unit for like a really long time. That's all we want to do, is just get y by itself. So we know y is connected to b. So that's going to be the last thing we touch. So first we'll always want to get rid of ax and move that to the other side using the inverse operation, meaning if my ax is positive, I would like to subtract it. If my ax is negative, I'd like to add it. Then what we do is we either multiply or divide by whatever number is being multiplied or divided by y. Usually it's going to be a number being multiplied, so we'll usually have to divide by b. And you'll have to remember, actually maybe it'd be easier if I wrote it like this. ax plus by equals c. We want to get y by itself, so the first thing we do is we get rid of this term and we move it to the other side by subtracting it there. Now, c and ax are not like terms, so what we need to do is we're left with by, and we literally write, these are literal equations, c minus ax. Now to get y by itself, y is being multiplied by b, so I divide by b. And remember, we divide everything by b. Everything by b, not just c and not just ax. We divide everything by b. And what we can do then is we can split those two apart. We pull them apart. Now we have just y by itself. We can say c over b minus ax over b. The only reason we would do this second part is if c or a are divisible by b, and we can simplify. If it's not, we can leave it like this. Let's look at an example. Here I have negative 3x plus 6y equals 24. This is written in standard form, and the equation might have been made in standard form based off of the real world example. Okay, so let's take a look here. I want to get y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the extra stuff, the stuff that's not officially touching the y. It's a negative 3, so to make it 0, the inverse operation would be plus 3x plus 3x. So now I have 6y equals, and you can either say 24 plus 3x or 3x plus 24, whichever you prefer. I like to put 3x first because we're changing it into slope-intercept form, so we like to have our mx first. All right. They're not like terms. That is why I didn't add them. That is why this is not 27x. No, that is not 27x because they're not like terms. So now I have 6 being multiplied by y. I need to divide by 6, and I need to divide everything by 6. And you can skip that step by just going over 6 because they both need to be divided by 6. So I'm left with y equaling 3x over 6 plus 24 over 6. So now I'm forcing you to go back to unit 1. All right? In unit 1, we did a few things. First of all, these fractions need to be simplified. So I can say y equals, change this to 1x over 6 plus, and 24 divided by 6. Well, they both can be divided by 6 to make, let's look, 24 divided by 6 is 4, 6 divided by 6 is 1, so that's the same as 4. That can be written as a whole number. There's one last thing that we used to do, and that was with that, oh, that was huge, with that x. We can pull that x out to the side to actually say y equals 1/6 x plus 4. We pull that x out to the side. Instead of saying divided by 6, we can say times 1/6. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this equation went from standard form to slope-intercept form. It's going to make my life so much easier graphing it. Rather than looking for the x and y intercepts, I know I can just start when it's 0, 4, and I can go up 1 to the right 6, up 1 to the right 6, or down 1 to the left 6, down 1 to the left 6. And that would be my line. So it's very simple. It's what we've done before. You're just rearranging the equation. Let's try it again. Normally, we would find the x and the y intercepts, which you can still do, but it's so much better to do it this way. Try this. We want to get y by itself. So the first thing I need to get rid of is that extra term. It's a positive 4x, so I need to subtract 4x from both sides. Okay? Now, that's going to leave me with a negative 6y. Do not lose that negative along the way. And I can either say 12 minus 4x, or I can say negative 4x plus 12, because this is a positive 12. Now what I need to do is divide by a negative 6, and I need to divide everything by a negative 6. We can go ahead and instead of doing that, we can just say we know this is divided by 6 and that's divided by 6. So now I'm left with y equaling negative 4x over a negative 6 plus 12 over a negative 6. We need to do some simplifying, and we need to pull that x out to the side. You can even do that first or last, doesn't make a difference. Let's simplify. I get y equals, well, I know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So right then and there, I'm going to get rid of those negative signs because we don't ever use negative in the numerator and denominator. We change it to positive. And I know these both can be divided by 2. 4/6 is the same as 2/3 x. Plus, now this is a positive divided by a negative. So you know that it's going to be a negative something, or you could just say minus, because we know then it's going to be minus. And 12 divided by 6, they both can be divided by 6 to 2 over 1, or negative 2 over 1, because we can move that negative sign up too. There's multiple ways we can do it. I've taught you so many ways to do it. So your final answer could have been plus negative 2, or y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Remember, these mean the same thing. You could leave it as 2 over 1, but that's not helpful to anybody. Nobody needs a fraction if it's not necessary. Okay, what I'd like you to do is we're going to do one of these together. I'd like you to pause the video and try 2 of them on your own. Okay, I would like you to try 2 of them on your own. We're going to look at this one with the fraction. Don't worry, we'll do that one together. Okay, and so actually for your exit slip, I'm going to have you do these 2. For your exit slip, I'm going to have you do those 2. But let's do this first one together. Let's look. So what you can do is this. Okay, we are going to rewrite this in slope-intercept form, meaning getting our y by itself. We want to get it to be y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this term. So I add 1/2 x, add 1/2 x. I know you guys pretty well, so I know you guys are freaking out already because, oh my god, it's 1/2 x. That's okay. Y equals 1/2 x plus 10. And actually, we're done because the y's coefficient is a 1. And that's what we're trying to get. Now, let's just say it was 2y. Let's just say there was a 2 here. I would divide by 2, divide everything by 2. I would get y equals, now, 1/2 divided by 2. Remember, with fractions, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. We skip, flip, multiply. And that's actually going to give us 1/4. So that would be 1/4 x plus 10 over 2, which is 5. So even if there was a coefficient in front of y, it would be no problem as long as you wrote it off to the side and did the math slowly. But that's not the case. We have it anyways. We don't need that 2. It's y equals 1/2 x plus 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to 10. Now, that's my y-intercept, 0, 10, because that's my b. My m is 1/2. I can't go up into the right, so I have to go down into the left, down into the left, down into the left, down into the left, down into the left. And there I have my line, which is so much easier than going and trying to find the y-intercept and the x-intercept. Okay, for this one, I'm actually going to do some changes. What we're going to do, so if you already started, bummer for you, because then you're going to, if you end up writing me saying, Miss Jambi, the exit slip doesn't have that much room, blah, 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 I'm going to say, well, then you didn't finish watching the video. Okay, we're going to actually make this 2x plus 2y equal. This one, you will be fine. So keep this one. Okay, this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be your exit slip. You can find a picture of this in the assignments as well. I told you this was going to be a short lesson. Once you finish the exit slip, you have plenty of time to turn that in, so there should be no excuse. You have time to finish your missing assignments. You have time to finish anything, but please do this exit slip now and have a wonderful, bye.